Hi guys, I am back with another video. It's been a minute. So hopefully everything goes smooth. I have some Christmas products that I got that I'm gonna use for the first time on camera. So, well, not the first time in general, but just the first time I'm using on camera. Well, I think I have a couple. Actually, I take that back. I have a couple things I've never used before. So, I'm just gonna get into it. This is gonna be like a date night kind of fun thing because I am going on a date. So, I'm starting off with this Proteiny Polypeptide Cream. It's from Drunk Elephant. I got that for my birthday a while ago, like August. And by the time I'm recording this, Christmas has already passed. So, it's been a while. I've been busy with work and other stuff. It's not really a lot to talk about. I normally try to talk in my videos, but I've been up since 3 o'clock and it's currently 7 o'clock, or actually 7:01. So, okay. So, for primer, I have two. One I haven't used in a while, and then this one I've been using a lot. This is the Versali Skin Tune. This is the one you see on Instagram and stuff. It smells like roses, but it's not like, I don't know how to describe it. It smells like roses, but it's like not like the fresh roses. It's kind of like a artificial thing. Artificial rose. And I only put this like here and like here because it does blur my pores, and I have huge pores on some parts. Some days it's better than others, but today they're really bad. So, putting that on, I gotta look good for my man. And it doesn't interfere with my moisturizer, which at first I thought it would, because the moisturizer is kind of like watery, and then this is like more silicone based. But surprisingly, it hasn't. And I am using a silicone based foundation, so if you can't tell the difference between a silicone based foundation and a water based foundation, basically whatever the first ingredient is what it has the most of. So if it has like dimethicone or silicone or cytopenazone, like whatever it is, if it has cone at the end, it's most likely silicone based. So you just look at the first ingredient, and that's what it has the most of. So if the first ingredient is water, then obviously it's water based. If it's silicone based, then obviously it's silicone. And then you want to make sure, if you get a primer, look at those ingredients too, and see if it's water based or silicone based. Because if you put water based primer onto a silicone based foundation, it won't stick. So just look at the ingredients. Okay, well that's soaked in. So now I'm using the L'Oreal Magic Perfecting Base. This I used like a while ago. I need a lot. I used to use this all the time until most of my foundations that I have, which I have a lot, are water-based. So I don't really get to use silicone-based primers a lot. So it's kind of like a hit and miss. Like, I like it, but I just don't use it as often, and I'm trying to use up a lot of my stuff. Which I have been doing. I have actually been using up a lot of my stuff. So, And people normally don't like silicone-based stuff because it's kind of like sticky or gummy. That's the best way I can describe it, is it's kind of gummy. But, like, it's not too bad. I don't mind either way, as long as I get to use up stuff that I've had for a while. I don't really care. Alright. And you want to make sure it's, like, really blended in. Or really, like, soaking into your skin. It's gonna feel, like, a little tacky, but that's fine. You'll be fine. Some people don't like it, some people do. I usually try to have my tissues, it's under my table, but I have an ottoman right here. I usually just wipe it off if it gets too sticky on my hands. Actually, it's better for you to have a sticky face after you put on primer, because that means the foundation will adhere to it better. Okay, so for foundation, I'm using the Becca Ultimate Coverage 24-Hour one. This is in the shade Linen, which I think is like my exact shade, which is sad. And then I'm probably going to put this one back in my hand, actually. And you can tell it's like super duper duper thick. Yeah, this is like, come on now. I don't really like the pump in this, in case you could tell. Like, it's like not even coming out in, like, I don't know if it's just mine or not. We'll go with that much. I do put on a lot of foundation, so. And then I'm going to be using this one. I don't know what brand it's from. It was from Five Below, but it comes with this little spiral egg. So you can put it back in the little thing. But this reminds me something similar to the Juno & Company, the velvet felt ones. And it kind of like has this thing where it's just kind of like it's like memory foam. I used it in a First Impressions, but woo, that's a lot of foundation. Like I said, I do wear a lot of foundation. And I do have backup sponges. To soak up the product, which it looks like I'll need. The problem is with this one, this is actually really nice. It's a really nice sponge, but it doesn't soak up product. It kind of like silicone fibers, I guess you could say. I'm using my Wet n Wild sponge. This is dampened, by the way, to soak up some of this. It reminds me of like silicone fiber, so it doesn't really soak up the product, which is what I want, because it's gonna be like really, like, you don't want all that foundation on your face. And that's the whole point of having a sponge, is to get rid of the excess product. I'm gonna get my ears too. Why not? I normally don't get my ears, but and actually what I might do is get another one of my sponges. It's an Eco Tool sponge. It comes with like a traveling case, but that one, for some reason, it soaks up so much product because it's so like porous, I guess is the word. It just soaks it up. It like doesn't even, like, it just takes off so much of the product. And I've had to use it a few times off camera. I haven't worn makeup in a while. I mean, obviously I wore makeup for Christmas, but that's about it. And I'm adding a little bit of extra foundation on my cheeks and on my eyes. but I'm really like pushing in the product. So, obviously I wore makeup for Christmas, and I wore it for the day after because I do really want to try to use up a lot of my products, and so I've been trying to, like, if I have a foundation and a concealer that come together, so like for example the Urban Decay all-nighter foundation or whatever it is, I have both of the concealers, so I just use the concealers with the foundation. And then if for my eyeshadow, I just focus on using one eyeshadow palette, or sometimes I'll use multiple, like doing stuff like that, just trying to lessen my collection, which has actually been working a lot better than what I thought. So, okay, now that we have all that off, I'm gonna wipe off all that. I don't have a lot of excess foundation on the back of my hand. It's just a little bit. So just, I have it in my hair, which I don't want it there, but I have it in my hair. Okay. So next I'm going to be taking my concealers. I use 2 concealers because I have really bad dark circles, so just to make sure everything's flawless, that's just what I do. You don't have to do it that way. You don't even have to wear concealer. If you're lucky enough not to have to wear concealer, I'm jealous. I'm very jealous. So I'm going to take these 2. So this one I've used a lot on my channel. This is the L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear. This is really good. And then this is the Benefit Boing Cakeless Concealer. This one I wore for Christmas, and that it lasted. So I'm using this. First I am actually going to use this first. And put this under my eyes. And it comes with like this little doe foot applicator that has a dip to it, as you can see, where it holds excess product. So I'm going to use this. Oh, this is in the shade number 1, which is so, it's a nice concealer, but it's just too dark for me. Like, I just feel like that's so dark for me because I like to have a brightened under eye. But that's just me. And you only need a little bit, but of course me going overboard. Of course. Just getting little areas that I normally get. And then I'm taking this sponge. This is the Sephora pointed sponge that I've had for a little bit. I just haven't mentioned it a lot. I've been using it a lot, as you can tell. But I like this better than the Morphe one. A little bit, or I like this one a little bit more than the Morphe one, because it has this pointed edge where I can really get under my eyes. And it's squishy. I like sponges that are really squishy. I've come to find out. Firmer sponges are okay depending on the foundation. Like if it's a water-based foundation, firmer sponges I just find to be better, but this is like so squishy. And it's so nice. And this concealer like blends like nothing to it. Okay, so next I'm going to take my Infallible concealer, and just where I see more darkness, just put this right where that darkness is. And try to cover up as much of that darkness as I can. as much as I can. I might go back in with the Benefit one because I feel like that one's just a little bit more. My dark circles have been so bad. I just finished up my busy season at work, and I've been catching up on sleep. But with me catching up on sleep, I actually get more tired. Because my body has just been constantly crashing. And so I've had to, like, try everything. Like, you can still see my dark circles. But see, the point I'm trying to get to is where if I look forward, you can't tell. I mean, I can only but cover up so much. But okay, that's as good as it's gonna get. I am gonna be using, let me see. Let me brighten this up a little. I'm gonna be using the Juvia's Place Magic Concealer. This is in the shade 24. So what I like about their system of, and it's got like a big doe foot applicator, like it's huge. Kind of like Shape Tape. And I'm going to be lightening this up just a little bit. I might use here, here, here. Just to lighten up, highlight everything. What I like about their, like, color range is that it goes, like, instead of number 1 being the lightest, number 1 is the darkest. Which I really actually appreciate, because instead of having to look at the very first thing, I could just go to the last and work up to the darkest. I don't know. Here we go. That's much better. Again, this is just personal preference. I like that highlighted look to kind of cover up everything. Okay. So for my under eye powder, I'm going to be using my Lancome Long Time No Shine mattifying powder. This isn't translucent. This is a very expensive powder. I don't really use it as often as I should, because it is a very nice powder. I'm just concerned because it's so expensive, and I don't like these little holes. Like, they're so small. It just like, ugh. The holes in this are so small. Like, it makes the product like not want to come out at all. But what I like about this is it's not like translucent, like just a solid translucent. It kind of has coverage to it, but still being translucent. Which I like a lot. So I'm going to use the other side of my sponge. Dip in. And also, this is really finely milled. So. Just going to set under my eyes. I mean, my dark circles are already coming in. I've tried color correcting. I've tried all that. And it has not worked. And a new trick that I've noticed is looking up and setting my eyes. For some reason, it just works. I don't know why, but it just works. Some people might get freaked out because it looks like really weird. Yeah. See, it makes me look creasy right now, but once I wipe away the extra powder, it's fine. And I'm going to set where I have concealer, and if I have to do an excuse me, if I have to do any last minute touches before I put on powder, then I do. Okay. So, put this back in here. Okay. This can go back in here. I'm trying to clean up as I go. It just makes things so much easier for me. And I have very limited room, so. Okay. Okay. Now we got that situated. So to set my face, I'm going to be using my Fenty Beauty powder. This is in the shade Butter. And, ooh, made a mess everywhere. Whenever you use loose powder, be ready for a mess. It smells so good, though. And I just set my face. And this will get on your clothes. Just take a really big brush, or just kind of, I don't know. If you have a big fluffy brush, just brush it away. Don't try to blow it away, because it's just going to smear. Don't try to wipe it away, because it'll just smear on your clothes. And I do get under my chin. I do powder under, like, all under here, because I noticed, especially when I wasn't recording, under my neck, it creases. So, I think I've put on enough powder to last a lifetime. But the reason why I put on powder is so it sets my makeup in place. And I'm not getting my eyelids. Whenever you use an eyeshadow, it's better to have a stickier base. I've been recently, instead of using eyeshadow primer, I've been using concealers, like my older concealers that I need to use up, and then setting it with powder. And then doing it that way. But, like, there's no rules to makeup, but basically one of, like, it's not even a rule. I don't really know what to call it. But whenever you set something with powder, don't put cream on top of it, because it just will look a mess. It'll crease, it'll crack, you know. And some people swear that it doesn't do that. I have yet to see it not do that. So, okay. Put my little cap back on there. Put this back on. This is making such a mess. Okay, so, like I said, I have a big fluffy brush, and I have it on my shirt. I don't know if you can see. Yep, and I just wipe it away. It's still going to leave a little bit of a mark, but for me, it doesn't matter, because I'm going to be out with my boyfriend. But I mean, if you're going out somewhere special, then just take that into consideration. And actually, while I have this fluffy brush, I'm going to brush off the excess powder off of my face. It's going to look weird. It's going to look like super powdery right now. But once you start adding setting spray and stuff, it won't look like that. And it seems like some parts of my face didn't get enough powder, but that's fine. I'm fixing that in a minute. Okay. I'm gonna put this over here, put this here, put this here, and now I have to go through and look at what concealers I have. Actually, I think I will use this one. Yeah, you can see where my eyes are creasing. A lot. That's the bad part of makeup. I'm trying to get everything situated. I'm just trying to think of what concealers I have, because most of my concealers are from a brand that I don't support anymore. I'm just trying to use up their stuff. If you didn't see my last video, or it may not have been my last one, it may have been my time before that, I no longer support Too Faced Cosmetics. And so a lot of my stuff, and I did mention that I was not going to be promoting anything from that brand. So it is what it is. I'll just use this one. It's no big deal. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to take my Maybelline Fit Me concealer. This is in the shade 10 Light. This is way too dark for light, which is why I changed. I also removed the stopper from my concealer so I could get all of the product out. So I'm going to use this as my eyeshadow base, and you can see how dark that is. Like, you can see why I don't use this concealer. But I am using this in this case because it's going to be primer, so it's not really going to matter. It looks dark now, but once I add like lighter shades of eyeshadow, it won't be so bad. I need to move all of my organizers out the way. Put this here. And I'm just taking my same concealer sponge and I'm just going to blend it out. Maybe it'll lighten up with my foundation shade being on top of it. Maybe. I don't really know. I mean, it's a good base. Like, you can see now, it's not so dark because I did have my foundation over my eyelids, so it kind of blended it. So, and it does, because it's such a yellow-based concealer, it does kind of shadow my purple veins. Yeah. And the colors I'm using today aren't too bad. Like, they'll be fine. If you're using a lot of blues or purples or pinks, you might want to have a lighter base, but I'm not so worried about it. Okay, so I am going to take my Laura Mercier powder. This is the translucent one that everyone talks about, I believe. And I'm taking my Morphe sponge. This is the one I mentioned earlier in the video. And I'm going to blend out all of the creases in my eye, or on my eyelid, and then set that with powder. And this sponge is dry, so I just would rather have it dry than have it wet. Not bad. Yeah, not bad. If you notice it getting really wrinkly, like really creasy, like weird looking, just take your sponge. Don't add any excess powder, but just wipe it. It's just where the cream and the powder are sitting on top of each other. And it's fine. No big deal. I am going to take some more of the Laura Mercier powder and put it under my eyes to catch any fallout. And the fallout is basically just where eyeshadow, I guess you could say it's like excess stuff. Like, I don't really know how to describe fallout. It's basically where you're using an eyeshadow and it has excess product on the brush and it falls out onto your face. So I add extra powder everywhere, and I kind of use the powder to cut out my cheekbones, what cheekbones I have. Basically, you can use powder to manipulate your features, or if you're a very expressive person like I am, I add powder everywhere. Like, everywhere. Like, I crease in my nose, so I get the creases in my nose. I smile a lot, so where my smile lines are, I add extra powder. I even kind of smile and just get powder in the smile lines, just to really set it. I just basically use this powder everywhere. And I haven't really done this a lot. I mean, like I said earlier in the video, I haven't really been wearing a lot of makeup. Obviously, I wore it for Christmas and for the day after Christmas, but I really didn't put on a lot. I was planning to, and then I was running late, and it didn't happen. So I just blow the powder away. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Okay. So I'm gonna put that away. Okay, so now that I have powder back all over me, it's like you can never escape it. And I'm wearing dark colored jeans, which probably wasn't a good idea to wear. As you can see, my nose is kind of creasing already, but that's fine. I'll deal with that later. Okay, what eyeshadow palettes haven't I used in a while? This is kind of like a talk get ready with me, but like, there's a lot. There's just a lot of stuff that I talk about. Just trying to think of what I want to do. My boyfriend really doesn't care what I wear. It's just I care what I wear. So, just trying to find a catch in between. Alright, well, I'll start off with this one, see where it goes. This is the BH Cosmetics Sylvia Gani palette. My sister got me this my half-sister got me this last year for Christmas. And she has told me that she has something in the mail for me, which I've already sent all of her Christmas presents / birthday presents to her. She was born the day after Christmas, so, you know, even though she never got them for Christmas, they should be in soon for her. Oh, I forgot to mention what I was using. I'm taking the shade Wolf, which you can see I've used a lot, and using that to set everything and kind of blend everything out and get all those little tiny creases out. Just to make it easier for later. I've used this eyeshadow palette a lot. I didn't realize how much I used it for. Let's see, what brushes do I want to use? I have so many brushes now. I have to clean all my brushes after this, so. Okay, I know what I'm going to do. Okay, so next I am taking this Chic Pro crease brush that I got at Five Below. They're super soft. I'm taking the shade Chanel. It's a mustard shade. And I'm taking this and putting this right into my crease. And this palette I know for a fact has a lot of fallout. So I have backup now. So and I'm just kind of putting it in my crease and almost to the brow bone, but not all the way to the brow bone. Like there's gonna be a thin line of like white or a lighter shade right there. So this is just to get the basic shape of my eyes. And I'm gonna take my color switch, which is basically like a really rough sponge. Not even a sponge. I guess it's like a dried up sponge, and I'm gonna use this, and it gets rid of all of the excess product that's on the brush so you can switch colors. Okay, so I kind of like how this looks, and I really kind of want to go into another eyeshadow palette. I just don't know which eyeshadow palette I want to go into. Let me see what's in here. Nothing from that one yet. Let's see. Not feeling that one today. This is what I go through whenever I wear makeup. I just go through all of my eyeshadow palettes and I'm like, not that one. No, I don't feel like this. Oh, I might be getting somewhere. I might hold off on that one. Let's see. I have so many eyeshadow palettes, you guys don't even know. Oh, I know what I can use. I think. I think I found it. I think I found what I'm gonna use. Okay, so this is the Jeffree Star Alien palette, and this is what I like. I think I'm gonna use this. Okay, so I'm going to take Martian Soil, which is this mustard shade. This is a little bit different. I know, I'm going from one mustard shade to another. This is a lighter version of the one I just used, but it's like not even the same kind of mustard shade. It's kind of like it's more yellow instead of more brown. But just to get a little bit extra. Yeah, just a little bit extra. Okay. And then for my next shade, we'll see how this works. Hopefully this works as well as I think it is, but we'll see. I'm going to take Phone Home, which is like this mauve shade, and put this in like the outer part and really focus that into my crease. Oh, that actually is turning out really well. So it's kind of going on like the outer portion of my lid into my crease, and I'm making sure to bring it all the way into my crease. And this is taking this from like more yellow to more of like a purple mauve look. It's super dark, but when I add my eyelid shade, it's gonna brighten it up, so it's not gonna be so dark. Okay, so while I'm here in this palette, I'm gonna take Titan, which is that nude shade. It's like my skin tone shade. And I'm gonna blend out this top edge, which is why I left it like that little thin line. Because when you blend out everything with the lighter color up by your brow bone to blend everything to make it look really blended, it's best to have a little bit of extra space, because sometimes if people bring it all the way up to their brow, it doesn't look as good. So, and I might even go through my brow hairs just to get it barely on there. And then I'm going to take my crease brush that I've been using to put everything in the crease and blend that out. I might blend into the crease a little bit. And another way you can see how you're doing is if you look down and you see how harsh the lines are, you can go back in with whatever shade you need to blend it. And to make it seamless. Like that. So I'm going to put this away because we won't need it. And I'm going to pull out my Blue Blood palette from Jeffree Star. This one here that looks like a coffin. So like I said, I was going to add a lighter color on top of where my lid is. So I'm wiping off the excess that kind of fell on the lid. And can you open? Thank you. And I'm going to take the shade Crystal Flesh, which is like this pink flesh color. I guess that's why it's named. So whenever you get shimmery eyeshadows, it depends on the look that you're trying to go for. If you're going for like a light glittery look, then you don't need to apply it wet. Me personally, I like that bright metallic like crazy look. So how I do that is I take whatever eyeshadow, I put it on my finger, and then I take a setting spray or water or whatever, I'm just going to take my MAC thing and I spray my finger with the eyeshadow on it. And then I apply it with my finger on my lid. And sometimes you may have to go back in and get some more. Like that. Ta-da! And actually, that's a really nude shade. Like, that's like not even, yeah, that's not showing up like I need it to. So, change of plans. I'm gonna go for something even crazier. If I can find something crazier. Cause see, this ain't doing it for me. I need it super bright. So, I might go back in with that palette. With my one palette that I had earlier. Ooh, that's actually really pretty. Okay, so this is the Jeffree Star Morphe collab. And I kind of want like a light green. Now that I'm looking at it and I'm wearing camouflage shirt and jeans, I kind of want that green to be in there. So I'm going to take Glam Rapids, which is like this light green yellow shade. And I'm going to put that on my finger. And it's like a little light green, like chartreuse color. And these I do apply wet. So I am going to add that wet. And put that on my lid. It's really light. Like, for some reason, some of these are just super light. Like, I don't understand. Am I the only one that's seeing this? Okay. Hold on. Okay. That's not doing it for me either. I didn't want to have to use this one, but we're going to use it. I'm using the green. This is the Juvia's Place Zulu palette, and I'm going to take this bright green in the middle, and I'm going to use that instead. I didn't really want to go anything this bright, but you know what? We're going to go for it. And actually, this might work out better because I do have a green in my BH Cosmetics palette, so. And, ooh, I need to apply that wet. Okay, well. This takes a little bit of a process. This one might not look as good because I've had other eyeshadows underneath, so we'll see about this eye. Much better. And I do try to pat it after I've applied it a little bit, because for some reason it just seems to bring out more of the shimmer part. I don't know why, but it does. And even in a way, you can kind of cut your crease with it. But ta-da! That looks cool. Okay. I might even, ooh, I know what I can do. See? This is what happens. I start doing a really good eye look, and then I start getting creative and using multiple palettes. Okay, so this is the BH Cosmetics Take Me Back to Brazil palette. This is the Rio edition. So all that means is that all the shades in this palette are all shimmers. So I'm going to take this top shade, this top green, and put that on my lid too. It's basically like the same shade, except for this one just has a little bit more glitter to it. And I'm just gonna kind of wipe and pat at the same time. Yeah! And you can see all that fall out. That's gonna be fun to clean up. Okay, so now you can kind of see where it has that harsh edge from the brown to the green. So I'm going to take my color switch and I'm going to take the excess powder off of this is the JS 12. This is the detailed crease brush from Jeffree Star and the Morphe collection. I forgot to mention that earlier. So what I'm going to do to kind of marry these two together is I'm going to go back in with my BH Sylvia Gani palette. And I'm taking the shade Hazel, which is like this olive green. And so it's kind of like a mixture between dark brown and light green. And I'm just going to go where they meet and blend this in. And blend it together. So it's kind of like that seamless kind of look where it goes from green to brown, or light green to brown. I might take that a little bit in my crease just to get the excess product off. And you can look down and see how you're doing. Going back in with Chanel from this same palette and going over top. And here. Ta-da! And so you have that look. And depending on how well blended you want it, you can wipe off this brush and just kind of wiggle back and forth to get that shade. And if you get it on a place on the light green that you don't like, just take your finger and just wipe it. That's what you do. Okay, so, oops, I forgot to put this back in. I always save these. You don't have to save them for your eyeshadow palettes. I do, because I don't like to have eyeshadows go all over the place, all over the palette. So that's why I do it. You don't have to do it. Unless you're a neat freak, then I guess you could do it. Okay. So now I'm going back in with Wolf, which is the very first shade that we ever used. And I'm just going to go kind of like in my brow hairs, but just like on this edge. So I'm taking the brush and kind of having it on the side and just blending that edge out. So it's like half of the brush is like legit in your brow hairs and half of it is like on underneath the brow. And that's how you blend. And now you see like it's all one seamless blend. Okay. So, now, after all of that, oops, I forgot to put this other one back in too. Actually, might save this. Trying to organize everything. I'm such a neat freak. And it's so sad to say that because, like, normally I wouldn't have a problem with it, but, like, for some reason today just seems to be one of those days that's, like, super neat freak. And I want to do something different, so I might. Let's just put that away before I get too many ideas. Okay. Okay. So, now that all that is finished, for the most part, I'm going to take my fluffy brush. And so, all this fallout, this is a thinner version of my fluffier brush. I have my different ones. I'm going to take all this excess fallout, and where I laid that powder, I'm basically wiping away all that powder. And there will be a cast because we let it sit from where it is. But that's really no big deal because you just wipe it away anyway. And by the time we finish putting on blush and everything, it won't matter. This is going to be a pretty long tutorial. So, just sit down and relax. Okay. So, next I'm going to take a flat brush. If I can find my flat brush. Ah, here it is. I'm going to take my flat brush, and what this is basically, it's flat, but it's got that flat edge. And you don't have to do this if you don't want to. I am, because I'm extra. I'm going to take this shade here called Rebel, which is this teal, blue, dark blue color. Because I don't want this look to be just like green and brown, like I want different colors and stuff. So I'm going to take Rebel, and I'm going to put it under my lash line, right under my waterline, like that, and line on my eyes. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I just like the way it looks under my eyes. And whenever you do this, make sure you take it and kind of connect it with a wing. Just connect it like that. And you will get some fallout. With blues, be particularly careful, because they will wipe off and smear on your face, and you don't want that. I have so much powder on right now, it doesn't even, like, matter. It doesn't even matter, like, the actual... Doesn't even matter how much falls out here, because I have so much powder to catch it. Well, and that's pretty dark. I didn't realize it was going to be that dark. Let me see. Actually, since I'm using blues, I might as well use my Blue Blood palette. Gives me a good reason to. I kind of want that a little bit lighter blue. So I'm going to take I'm Cold, which is this baby blue. and put that right over top. And even though it won't do a lot, it'll do enough to make it lighter. And to show that it's blue and not teal. Again, if you don't want to watch this, you can skip ahead. It takes me a little while because my eyes are uneven. I have a lazy eye, so I kind of have to take extra time and figure out what looks good and what doesn't look good. That actually looks a lot prettier than what I thought it was. Okay. So pretty. So, I don't know if you can tell on camera, but it did change the color a little bit. Like, I don't think you can tell. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, so it was like a dark teal, and now it's a lighter teal. So. And then. Now, like, you need to see how red my eyes are. Okay. So, I'm almost done. I'm just deciding on what I want in my inner corner, because I always try to add a shimmer in my inner corner. I might take Prince, which is this shimmery white champagne shade, and I'll put that in my inner corner. Just to brighten up my eye a little bit. And I just take it on my finger. Some people use a brush, some people use fingers. I personally prefer fingers when it comes to shades, like shimmer shades. That's just the way that I am. And if you have any eye guts from where you sleep, just before you even start makeup, just take those out, because they're just a pain later on in the day. And if you put stuff over top of it, obviously, it's not gonna look pretty. See? And it brightens up the eyes a little bit. Not too much. Just a little tiny bit. That's all I needed. It's just a little tiny bit. Alright. Now we should be done with the eyes. I'm just going to take my fluffy brush and just brush, just in case there's anything extra. And again, you're going to look powdery, but that's okay, because once you add setting spray, you're not going to look powdery anymore. So, put this up here. So today, I'm going to be trying this LA Girl Shockwave Neon Liner. I think this is Screamin', Eye Screamin'. I have Eye Screamin' and Eye Fresh. Or that might be the name. So this is Fresh and this is Screamin'. I'm going to be using this on my waterline. I don't really wear a lot of eyeliner on my waterlines, on my waterline anymore. I still have it, but I don't normally do it. For some reason, sometimes my eyes water, sometimes they don't, depending on the rude trash truck. It just depends on what I'm doing. Sometimes my eyes water, sometimes they don't. So I just as a precaution, depending on what I'm doing, you know, I just kind of keep it to the side. Oh, by the way, it hasn't been opened. I just opened it. I got these for Christmas because I wanted to try something new. So, not like I needed makeup. Okay. Whoops. An eyeshadow on my sponge. Oh well. So, I'm going to be using my Eco's Tools sponge. And I just do this just as a precaution, instead of using my fingers, just in case I have something on my fingers. I'm going to take the sponge, And I'm going to pull down my waterline and put this in my waterline. I'll be damned. It does brighten up my eyes. So I have actually pretty wicked. I like that color. This is so weird. Okay, before I get even more weird, I'm going to be taking, I might do a little wing liner. So in order for me to do this, I gotta kind of stay quiet. So it's going to be kind of awkward for a little bit. But I'm taking this ColourPop liquid liner in numero uno. And I'm going to try to do a wing liner and try to make it even. In order for me to do that, I got to try to stay quiet. So I may or may not fast forward through this part. And, ooh, first impression though, look at that point. I've never used this before. Look at that point. Okay, so actually before we start, see, nice little wing except for that mess up. Let me see if I could cover that up a little. Nice. I like it. I'm not a big fan of liquid eyeliner, as you can tell. Look at that. Oh, that's gonna bug me all day long. Alright, let me stay quiet and finish this one and try to make it even. So, this is what I have. It's not quite even. Like, it's like 50-50. So, I mean, it's not too bad. But, yeah. Like I was saying earlier, why I had to stop during that, my eyes started watering. I don't know, it happens every time I put eyeliner in my waterline, but, I just figured I just had to stop. So, right now I'm going to curl my lashes. Ta-da! This is from Revlon, I think. Let me see. Give me just a sec. Sorry. Mom came to the door, so. I normally have my door locked when my family's home, so. Especially when I'm recording a video. It's just better for me to keep it off. So, this is from Revlon. I am going to curl my lashes. And I'm going to add mascara because I may or may not be adding false lashes today. Maybe, maybe not. I might. I don't know. Actually, I'm not going to use this mascara. I'm going to use this mascara. So right now I'm curling my lashes. And whenever you curl your lashes, try to use a waterproof mascara because it has wax in the formula and it'll hold the curl. For me, I just kind of just do whatever. Okay, so right now I'm going to be using the Montessori Big Waterproof Mascara from Lancome. This I did get for Christmas too. So this holds up through anything. I did use this on Christmas. And this mascara is just really good. I did wear this for Christmas and it lasted all day long. So, you know, this is a lot. Normally mascaras don't last that long on me, no matter what I do. So depending on what I like with this one, I might not need false lashes. I might go back in with another mascara on top, which is perfectly fine. Like, if you want to use a waterproof mascara and then use another one on top, that's fine. Just make sure that you wipe off the brush or the wand before you add that extra mascara, because when you do that, it kind of cakes up a little bit. So if you take off the excess, then it won't be so bad. A lot of people don't know that trick, but I try to say that trick because it just makes everything easier. So I'm gonna let this sit a minute, and I have my other mascara ready. This is the Bad Gal Bang mascara. I got this for one of my friends for Christmas, and she sent me a picture of her using all the makeup that I got her, and I'm like, I'm so excited. She actually looked a lot better. She looked a lot better in the makeup than what I thought she would. I mean, she looks good either way. Don't get me wrong. But, I mean, like, she looked really, really good. Sometimes when you curl your lashes, some of them fall. Like, mine always fall. So, I just take my finger and just push it up when it's dry. Kind of like what you do with false lashes, but with your natural lashes. Now, if you have shorter lashes, don't bother trying to do this because it'll poke your eye out. But you can see, it looks so pretty. But just because I want a little bit of extra volume, like extra pizzazz, actually, I have so many mascaras, like I have like 12. Do I want to use this one? I'll use this one. Why not? So this is the Bad Gal Bang mascara. And I'm just going to go in just a little bit. And lengthen my lashes a little bit. And this mascara I do like for my lower lashes, so I am going to put this on my lower lashes. Just a little bit. I just totally missed that whole thing. Look at that. I went to put it back in to get more mascara and I missed the whole thing. It got all over my finger. Well, if you're ever wondering if it's pigmented or not, that's your cue. Let me wipe that off. Everybody makes mistakes. It's fine. It's okay. Why is my lighting off? Did I do something wrong? Okay, so you can see my under eyes. You see my lashes, and sometimes when mascara transfers, just let it dry and then take a fingernail or tweezers and just lightly scrape it off, and it'll work. Forgot my light has 3 settings on it. So I really like how this looks, and I kind of don't want to add false lashes because I already have naturally long lashes. So next, this is going to be super long, so don't even worry about it. You're fine. Sit down, have a cup of coffee. I've already had 6 cups of coffee already. It's past 8 o'clock. Been up since 3. It's fine. This away. Not that. That needs to stay put. Okay, so for my brows, I'm going to be using my Anastasia brow pomade. I haven't used it in a while. I'm going to take it on the Anastasia number 12, or no, number 14 brush. So it has the brush end, and then it has the spoolie end to blend it out. Now this stuff is like, it'll change your life. I am going to spoolie through my brows first to get all the foundation off. And it helps the product stick better. Okay, so as you can see, it's very well loved. So I'm going to take this on my brush very lightly, and I do the bottom part of my brow first. And I'm just tapping in, like I'm not even wiping. And doing this very lightly. Like, very, very lightly. Like, I'm not even like wiping it, I'm just tapping. Because I know how crazy this stuff gets. Like, 1 minute you'll be fine. The next minute, it's all over the place. So, and it's better to work smaller than to work like dark and then try to go lighter. And just gonna lightly add the brows. Okay. And my brows are uneven. I've mentioned this in many videos. My brows are uneven. There's not a lot I can do about it. So I just kind of do what I need to do, and as many beauty gurus say, they're sisters, not twins. So I'm taking that logic. I kind of extend this one out, which is what you saw me do. I just kind of went a little bit out from where my natural brow hairs are. And I'm just slowly fixing it, little by little. I'm not really adding a whole lot, just a little bit. Some days I like to do the carved out brow look. Today is not one of those days. So see, like, you only need like a tiny bit. And if you feel like there's a certain part of your brow that's too dark, you just take your spoolie and just move the product throughout the hairs. And it'll be fine. And that's it. Always wipe off your brush whenever you're using a pomade or anything like that. If you're using a brush with a product, always wipe it off, because it just makes things so much easier. Okay. Alright, almost done. It's been a while. I don't really record a lot of videos anymore, so I'm taking my time with this one. So, I'm sorry if you guys are on a mission, and it's a video, you can skip through if you need to. Okay. I'm trying to get all my blushes together, all my bronzers together. I do have a few bronzers. I didn't get any new bronzers for Christmas, but I do have a few. I thought I would just mention it. Which one? Feeling through for them. Ha, here we go. And use this one. I'll just use that for right now. Okay, so for my bronzer / contour, I just realized I had that in the... If you didn't see anything I was doing, I wasn't thinking. It's fine. Whatever. It's cool. So for my bronzers, I'm going to take 3. I normally use 2, and then I use 1 to contour with. So for my first one, I'm using the Hoola Light. This is a light version. This is just to kind of get the base down. And I'm taking this on the It Cosmetics blush brush. It's a number 227. It's normally used for blush, but I use it for bronzer because it's big and fluffy, and I just prefer this because of the way it contours and kind of goes with my face. Some people like smaller contour brushes. I like the big ones. So, and my nose is starting to run. Great. As you can see, it's already messing with my makeup. Okay. So, just fold that down. So now that that's done, I'm going to take my Fenty Beauty bronzer in the shade Shady Biz. This is a little bit darker, but this is kind of like the lead up to the contour. You kind of go over top a little. And just a light little bit of that. Just a little bit. Just enough to get just to deepen it. And then to contour, I'm taking this brush. This brush I got from Five Below. It came with a set. But it's like a shorter contour brush. As you can see, there's a lot of powder in it. And I'm going to take, this is the Kylie bronzer in Tawny Mommy. Tawny? I don't know. It's really dark in the pan, but once I contour with it, it's not so dark. Like, that's a lot. Okay, let's not do that. Just tap it in. And then where your contour is basically the top of your ear down to like your bottom, or the top corner of your lip. So that's what I go off of. And I just do this really lightly. And so I go from the top of my ear down to that corner lip, or the corner of the top lip. And I blend a lot. And I may have taken a little too much. You can see how dark that is. So I'm going to try to remedy the situation by taking my very first bronzing shade that I used and see if this works. Sometimes it happens. You know, not everyone's perfect. I'm going to take that on a brush and blend. And you never want to go below your cheekbone. You always want to go above. And it does kind of work. I did take a lot on my brush. Okay. That's not working. So if plan B doesn't work, always have a plan C. And I use a powder foundation. This is in my shade, which is light, which you can see I've used a lot. And I take my same bronzing brush that I've used, pack it with this powder, a lot, like a lot. And I go above my cheekbones and around. And what that'll do is, if it gets too dark, it just blends everything together. You see that? See, on camera it looks really bad, but in person it looks really good. It just blends everything. See? Now it's not so bad. And then if you really feel adventurous, you can take whatever sponge, like anything with a flat edge. So like this one, for example. Take that, put it on the back, and then carve out your cheekbones. And that'll help kind of make everything look a little bit lighter. And you can even tap the edges of around it. I actually might do that just in general. And that's all you do. I always try, whenever I make a mistake in my videos, I always try to give tips on how to fix them. Just out of me being nice. So, if anything's patchy above here, it's not really going to matter because now we're adding blush. So, for blush, I'm using the Milani Luminoso Baked Blush. This is really pretty, like just everyday wear if you don't want to wear anything. Well, that was a brush. If you don't want to wear anything like really heavy, you can use this. This is really nice. It's a perfect like peachy pink shade, and if you wear greens or blues or purples, peach blushes are the way to go. So I'm just going to add that on my cheeks. And it just brings color back into my face, so I don't look so pale. And this one in particular has like a little bit of shimmer to it, like, so you kind of have like that natural highlight look. So that's all I'm doing for that. Like, you don't need a lot. I hate the trash truck. Okay, so now to set everything in place, I don't know what setting spray I want to use. I'm just going to use this one. This is a mixture that I made of the Urban Decay All-Nighter setting spray and a Lancome setting spray, the Long Time No Shine spray, and I mixed it together and put it in here. So I'm going to put this on my face. Hopefully this doesn't smear anything. Whew, that has some strong stuff. Okay, so the reason why I set my face now is so my highlighter sticks, because I'm using a loose highlighter. So this is the Wet n Wild loose highlighter. This is in the shade I'm So Lit. Sure are. And I have powder all over this thing. So what I'm going to do is dump a little bit out. Like, you don't need a lot. This is very glittery. So. And then I'm going to put this on the tops of my cheeks. Very top of my cheeks, like almost by my eye. And put it right there. And blend it in. And also with it being wet, it also intensifies the highlight. So just go to the very top. And you can see it just kind of has like that really pretty like highlight. Like you can see on my face. Woo! Girl. And if you feel like your highlighter's too intense, you know you did good. What I'm actually going to do is, because this is actually really intense, is I'm going to take a dark highlighter that is usually pretty dark on me. And I'm going to use my James Charles palette. I know a bunch of my friends are like, where did you get that? It's Ulta. It's there. I do really like this palette. I use it basically all the time. So I'm going to take the shade Face, which is this big shimmery one right here. And I'm going to put that over top because this is a little bit bright. The face shade's a little bit darker, but I really need this to tone down a little bit. So, going on my brush and putting that on top. And that just kind of tones it down a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. That's still really bright. Didn't think this through. Of course. I did say this was going to be a long video and that it was going to be trial and error. I might take the shade, what shade is that? Ring Light? I might take that shade and really put that like right here. Yeah. And that might actually tone it down better than the other one. Like, we want right here. Right here. And when we add setting spray, again, it will tone this down a little bit because it'll melt more into the skin. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to take whatever setting spray I could get my hands on. I really don't like how my nose is looking. I might take a stronger, I don't know which one I want to use. I have so many setting sprays. I have so much makeup in general. Okay, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be extra. And I'm gonna take all this. So, for setting my face, I'm going to take my Morphe setting spray. And then just to make sure everything melts in, I'm taking my Anastasia Beverly Hills Dewy Set setting spray. This just kind of helps melt everything together. So. And this has like the finest mister ever. Like, ever. So, it's no big deal. And next, I'm taking my Anastasia one. Woo. And I'm going to kind of look down because I know this one stays a little wet for a while. Whew. It's a little hot. A little hot in here. So next I'm going to be adding lipstick. And for my lipstick, I don't know what I'm going to add yet. I kind of want to do like a bold lip because I'm extra like that, but I might not. It depends. Like, I have so many new lipsticks. I have so many like cool lipsticks. Let me see. What do I have? I have a lot of cool ones. Actually, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use this one because it's cool and it's not too crazy, but it's still cool. So for my lips, I'm going to be taking the NARS liquid lipsticks. This is in London Calling. So this is like a lilac blue purple kind of color. I'm going to put this on. And it smells good. I did kind of overdraw my lips a little bit. I need to read that up and know it a little more. Okay. Ta-da! And this is the finished look. So hopefully I can get this onto natural lighting. Okay, so here I am in natural lighting. Obviously it's a little bit different in natural lighting than in my regular room lighting. So hopefully you can see what I was saying earlier about all my stuff. Look at that. And I haven't worn eyeliner in a minute, so this is actually, I really kind of like how this is and with my outfit. It looks pretty cute. And it's a nice little date night. I think my boyfriend's really gonna like it. And if he's watching this video, hi babe. Anyway, so hopefully by the time I edit this video, everything will be a little bit faster. I mean, I know I do a lot of talking and I know you can skip through, but I haven't recorded in a while, so, and I'm not sure when my next video will be out, so. We'll see. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys want to subscribe, please do. If you don't, it's fine. I'm okay with it. It's cool. Give this video a like if you want, and hit that notification bell. I always forget to mention that, but apparently the little notification bell, if you subscribe, you have to click all of the videos, not just personalized. Whatever. It's whatever you choose. So I hope you guys enjoy the video, and I will see you guys next time.